Making headlines. The Maldives and India signs the High Impact Community Development Projects MOU. The Met Office reports that Malé City experienced the highest amount of rainfall during the ongoing heavy rainfall across the Maldives. And the MNDF Coast Guard urges seafarers to exercise heightened caution in response to current weather alerts when planning their journeys.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Idham Naeem. Maldives and India signs the High Impact Community Development Projects HICDP MOU, launching the third phase of project-based cooperation aimed at directly benefiting people at the grassroots level.
The High Impact Community Development Projects HICDP MOU launching the third phase of the project-based cooperation aimed at directly benefiting people at the grassroots level was signed by Minister of Foreign Affairs Dr. Abdullah Halil during his ongoing three-day official visit to India. Before the signing, Minister Halil held bilateral talks with his counterpart, Minister of External Affairs of India Dr. S. Jaishankar. Both sides engaged in discussions on all aspects of the partnership, including priority areas outlined by the leaders during the state visit of President Dr. Mohammad Muiz to India in October 2024. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs in a statement said that both ministers expressed commitment to continue working closely together, bilaterally and in international fora on priority areas of mutual interest. During the official discussions held in New Delhi, both ministers acknowledged the economic partnership and the progress of ongoing projects facilitated through Indian grant assistance and line of credit initiatives. According to the statement, Minister Halil had conveyed appreciation from the Maldives government for India's support and assistance to ease the ongoing fiscal challenges. It added that both ministers underscored the significance of exploring additional avenues to enhance the Maldives-India partnership. This is the first official visit by Minister Halil after assuming the post in September last year. Maldives and India have witnessed improved relations in recent months, aided by several high-level exchanges between the two friendly nations.
The Ministry of Health affirms that import of cigarette-making materials to the Maldives is already prohibited under the Tobacco Control Act. The ministry's clarification follows rumors that the Health Ministry had instructed Maldives Customs Service to ban the import of cigarette paper and filter.
An official from the Health Ministry confirmed that the import of cigarette-making materials is prohibited under the Tobacco Control Act and is not a new decision. He added that the ministry's role has been to instruct the relevant authorities to implement and enforce the law. According to amendments to the Tobacco Control Act in November last year, the manufacture of any tobacco product in the Maldives is prohibited. The law also prohibits the import of tobacco plants and other parts of the plant that can be used to grow tobacco plants, including tobacco plant seeds. The Tobacco Control Act also details the prohibition of tobacco-related products. Tobacco products are products made from tobacco, tobacco stems, nicotine, and any other product produced using tobacco, tobacco stems, and nicotine. The law also defines tobacco as any substance containing any of the in any quantity which allows the substance or substances to be absorbed into the body through chewing, ingesting, inhaling, or application to a part of the body in any way. Therefore, as the paper and filter used to wrap tobacco aids in delivering the tobacco to the body, these materials are classified as tobacco products and import of these materials are also prohibited. Addressing rumors that the government has also prohibited the import of tobacco cessation material, the Health Ministry said these are baseless. The ministry clarified that nicotine replacement therapy or similar treatments and products for smoking cessation, which are prescribed and approved by professional bodies, are not considered tobacco products under the Act.
The Maldives Meteorological Service Met Office reports that Malé City experienced the highest amount of rainfall during the ongoing heavy rainfall across Maldives. The Maldives is currently experiencing adverse weather conditions due to a circulation in the Maldives region. Speaking to PSM News, Met Office meteorologist Ahmad Shahud stated that Malé recorded the highest rainfall over the past 24 hours with a total of 162 millimeters. The Met Office said the weather condition responsible for the adverse conditions is now directly over Maldives. As a result, heavy rainfall is expected to continue for the 24 hours, especially in the central atolls. Earlier, it issued an orange alert for the area between Ba Atoll and Tha Atoll in effect between 3 p.m. and 11 p.m. on Saturday. The Met Office warned of rough seas during this period and warned against sea travel while the orange alert was in effect. While Saturday's rain has caused extensive flooding across Malé with floodwaters affecting households and businesses, the public and the relevant authorities have been working to reduce floodwaters. The Maldives National Defence Force MNDF Coast Guard urges seafarers to exercise heightened caution in response to current weather alerts when planning their journeys. This directive comes in light of severe weather conditions affecting most part of the country. In an interview with PSM News, MNDF Lieutenant Colonel Yusuf Nishar underscored that the prevailing severe weather conditions have led to tidal swells and waves exceeding prior predictions. He warned that such rough seas and adverse weather conditions have earlier resulted in maritime incidences. Lieutenant Colonel Nishar further underscored the critical importance of consulting the latest weather updates prior to commencing any maritime journey. He advised against embarking on voyages during periods and yellow or orange alerts are issued by the Maldives Meteorological Service Met Office. The Coast Guard additionally called upon captains of maritime vessels to adhere to permitted passenger limits, especially under severe weather conditions. The authority also stressed the critical necessity of ensuring an adequate supply of life jackets on board and mandated that all passengers and crew members wear life jackets during inclement weather. The National Disaster Management Authority (NDMA) reports that 226 residents from 36 households in the capital Malé have been relocated to temporary shelters due to heavy flooding caused by incessant rains on Friday.
The heavy rains resulted in extensive flooding throughout large areas of Malé city, with floodwaters infiltrating residential properties and commercial establishments. The flooding also caused significant damage to vehicles on the street. The NDMA received requests for assistance from 774 households and businesses in Malé city. It also conducted rapid assessments of 53 buildings. Based on these evaluations, the NDMA relocated 226 residents from 36 homes to temporary shelters and provided them with food assistance. Severe weather conditions have persisted across the country on Friday, resulting in swell surges in several islands, causing extensive damage. Heavy flooding has also been reported in Nilandu in Pha Atoll, where 80% of the island was submerged. According to the NDMA, efforts to mitigate the flooding involved coordination among officials from the Maldives National Defence Force (MNDF), Maldives Police Service (MPS), Malé City Council, and the Ministry of Cities, Local Government and Public Works. The Maldives Meteorological Service (Met Office) recorded the highest rainfall on Friday in the Malé region, with 142.6 millimeters of rain in Malé City, 122.5 millimeters in Hurumale, and 144 millimeters in Hurule, where Velana International Airport is located. The Met Office issued a warning that severe weather conditions are forecasted to persist across the majority of the country today, with expectations of turbulent seas and strong winds. Authorities are advising residents to exercise caution and implement precautionary measures, including the placement of sandbags and the relocation of household items to higher elevations to mitigate potential flood damage.
Managing Director of Regional Airports Company Limited (RACL), Ahmad Mubin discloses that the concept designs and architectural plans for the proposed new airports have been finalized, and the administration is actively seeking investors to support these development projects.
President Dr. Mohamed Muizzu's administration has announced plans to develop 20 additional airports across the country, incorporating both new and ongoing projects. During his visits to the outer atolls, President Dr. Muizzu has committed to the establishment of additional airports on selected islands. In an interview with the PSM News, Managing Director of RSCL, Mubin, disclosed that efforts to secure financing for ongoing airport development projects and to complete further developmental work on established airports are currently underway. He revealed that the concept design work for the newly proposed airports has been finalized. Among the projects with finalized concept designs is the proposed airport in Mathiveri, Alif Alif Atoll, which was pledged by President Dr. Muizzu. Mubin noted that funding and investors have been secured for some proposed airport development projects, and RSCL is currently in the process of sharing the necessary paperwork and relevant documents with the government's Economic Council. Mubin added that RSCL is actively seeking methods to boost economic activities on islands where airports are proposed. He also noted that RSCL is collaborating with the local councils of these islands and has resolved to develop a comprehensive master plan to achieve this. Presently, there are 19 operational airports across the country, comprising 5 international airports and 14 domestic airports. Development work is actively progressing on 4 domestic airports located in Muli Mium Atoll, Magodo Faf Atoll, Alifushi Ra Atoll, and Makunudu Hadal Atoll. Among these, the development of the airport in Muli is nearing completion, with RSCL preparing to conduct test flights in March.
Maldives Police Service MPS attributes the recent decline in traffic violations to the increased efforts to raise public awareness. Speaking to PSM News, Inspector of Police Ibrahim Khalil said the MPS has stepped up efforts through special operations to coincide with the new year. He said that more than 1,000 vehicles have been stopped and checked in the capital Male and the reclaimed suburb Hulumale during the New Year holidays. He added that police have given special emphasis to enforcing traffic regulations and vehicle registrations during the operation. Khalil explained that not even 20 vehicles were found to have any violations in the operations conducted since December 24 and highlighted that nearly 1,000 vehicles have been stopped and checked in Hulumale alone. MPS has recently launched several initiatives, including more traffic checkpoints and community policing to raise public awareness on road safety and traffic regulations. Khalil said such initiatives appear to have had the desired effect, with more people abiding by the road and traffic regulations than ever before. US stocks rebounds as investors neared the end of a holiday-shortened week that also ranged in a new year, which brought with it expectations of additional Federal Reserve rate cuts and policies favoring a business from incoming administration.
A broad rally sent all 3 major US stock indexes to a higher close, with mega-cap growth companies such as Tesla and Nvidia providing much of the muscle to the upside and putting the tech-heavy Nasdaq out front. Alexis Investment Partners President Jansen Brown said that a little bounce was natural as the month has been rough.
I mean, it's been a rough, month really. So it's natural that we get a bounce. I'm hoping that we're kind of working through a bottoming process here. I think in general we're just sort of working things off. I don't expect anything to get too terrible in terms of this current pullback that we're having.
He added that December was a give-back month and that it is continuing so far into early January.
December kind of was a give-back month. That's continuing so far into early January. We're getting a nice bounce here. Whether, we really need to get back above 6,000 on the S&P, for example, above the 50-day moving average, and kind of show that we can hold there. And then I think the uptrend will resume.
Even so, all three indexes posted modest declines for the week, with the S&P 500 logging its third weekly loss in 4. The S&P 500 gained 73.92 points or 1.26% to end at 5,942.47 points, while the Nasdaq Composite gained 340.88 points or 1.77% to 19,621.68. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 339.86 points or 0.80 points to 42,732.13.
South Korean authorities failed to arrest impeached President Yoon Suk Yeol on Friday over his martial law declaration after evading a crowd of protesters outside his compound but coming to a standoff with presidential security forces inside.
Officials from the Corruption Investigation Office for High-Ranking Officials (CIO), which is leading a joint team of investigators into Yoon's brief declaration of martial law on December 3rd, arrived at the gates of the presidential compound. South Korean media reported that once inside the compound, the CIO and accompanying police faced cordons of Presidential Security Service personnel as well as military troops seconded to presidential security. South Korea's Ministry of National Defense said the troops were under the control of the PSS. The CIO called off the efforts to arrest Yoon due to concerns over the safety of its personnel due to obstruction and said it deeply regretted Yoon's attitude of non-compliance. It added that it would consider its next step. Insurrection is one of the few criminal charges from which a South Korean president does not have immunity. Yoon's lawyers have said the arrest warrants was illegal and invalid because the CIO did not have the authority under South Korean law to request a warrant. South Korea's Constitutional Court said on Friday that it will hold first arguments on January 14th in a trial to decide whether to oust President Yoon Suk Yeol, in which the impeached leader is required to appear for the first arguments. The court said it has planned a second session for January 16th in case Yoon refuses to appear for the first arguments.
The Miami Heat suspend guard Jimmy Butler for conduct detrimental to the team and will seek to trade the six-time All-Star.
The Miami Heat suspended Jimmy Butler 7 games on Friday for conduct detrimental to the team on multiple occasions and will listen to trade offers for the 6-time All-Star. The suspension comes one day after Butler essentially requested a trade out of Miami after saying he probably would never be content playing for the Heat again. In a statement released Friday, the Heat suggested that Butler's conduct has become an issue over the course of the season and particularly the last several weeks. The Heat said in their statement that through Jimmy Butler's actions and statements, he has shown that he no longer wants to be part of this team, adding that Butler and his representative have indicated that they wish to be traded and that their offers will be taken into consideration. The willingness to explore a deal comes just over a week after team president Pat Riley said he has no interest in making a move. Butler upped the ante in an interview with reporters following Thursday's 128-114 home loss to the Indiana Pacers. ESPN reported that Butler asked for a trade after team officials implied he had not given an all-out effort on Wednesday in a 119-108 win over the New Orleans Pelicans, his first game since December 20th due to an illness. He also scored 9 points in that game over 25 minutes. In his sixth season with the Heat, Butler is averaging 17.6 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 4.7 assists in 22 games. The Heat are Butler's fourth team, following stays with Chicago Bulls, Minnesota, Timberwolves, and Philadelphia 76ers. He was the MVP of the Eastern Conference Final in 2022-2023 when the Heat beat the Boston Celtics in 7 games. In 836 career games, 731 starts, Butler has averages of 18.3 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 4.3 assists.
Rosalind Akochi, a smallholder farmer in western Kenya, scans her cassava crop with a smartphone using artificial intelligence (AI) to instantly diagnose plant diseases and pests.
The app, developed by non-profit organization Plant Village, offers real-time solutions to crop health issues, a boom for farmers like Akochi who have long struggled with identifying diseased plants. The technology provides resources on sourcing quality seeds, land preparation methods, and access to agricultural specialists. Akochi reports a significant yield increase since adopting the app. She revealed that she previously used to harvest 5 bags while now she can harvest up to 200. She added that the increased income has allowed her to pay for her children's education and build a house. Experts say that Africa requires an annual investment of $77 billion to enhance farming practices, boost yields, and improve agricultural supply chains to address food insecurity. Smallholder farmers like Akochi, who typically work on less than 2-acre farms, produce 80% of food consumed in Africa. Many lack modern farming expertise and resources. Climate change has further impacted these farmers, increasing pests, diseases, and irregular weather patterns, often driving them into debt and poverty. Plant Village has been training farmers and testing their AI applications in Busia, an area identified as food insecure. Researchers across Africa are exploring various solutions, including introducing resilient crops in climate-affected areas and leveraging technology. Many experts believe that AI has great potential due to its accessibility, customization, and affordability. However, barriers to technology adoption, such as the lack of smartphones access, persist in Africa. Farmers like Akochi are now training others and assisting those without smartphones in their communities. Experts suggest this model, if successful in trial areas, could offer hope for smallholder farmers across the continent.
That's it for now. Thank you for watching PSM News. Have a good day.